today with Wendy Primeau. Many people remember Wendy Weatherman. Wendy's here to talk about a lot of things drag racing related. Wendy's a legend of her own sorts, but we're also here to talk about her mom, Bobby. And Bobby is a member of Arizona Drag Racing Hall of Fame. She was a bright light in many people's lives over the years, and she did a lot of things that made drag racing better in Arizona. Bobby was a shining star. Her drag racing career in itself was nothing really major, other than the fact that she was the backbone to a lot of people going racing, getting out the track, getting them there in the first place, and just making it better for everybody. That's why Arizona Drag Racing Hall of Fame selected her to be a member of it. Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
How long has it been since your mom has passed?
She passed in 1990.
So
it's...
It doesn't seem like yesterday. She was still with us.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like it wasn't that long ago, and sometimes it seems like a whole another lifetime ago. It seems like she's been gone for a long time.
She was such a sweetheart. She did a lot of things for people. When do you remember going to the races with her for the first time?
First time we went to Beeline, it was our friend John Roberts, a really good close friend. He had a 56 Chevy and he wanted to go race that. So we went out to Beeline and I thought, well, this is pretty cool. But then we didn't do that a whole lot. Started going to Phoenix Raceway when Donnelly's owned it. And that's when the bug really bit all of us. So that was where most of our time was spent, and then obviously on to Firebird. But
so your mom and you have been, your mom went to a lot of races in her lifetime, and you go as often as you can. Do you remember that your mom driving a car on the racetrack?
Yeah, she would drive. She started just driving her everyday car, her '69 Catalina. She would just drive, all day, all week, and then on the weekends she would go race out there. And then she did have a '67 GTO for a while that was her actual race car.
And the big question is, what happened to that car?
I don't know. That's what is very frustrating is I want to call her and ask her, and I don't have anybody really to ask to find out or that can remember what exactly happened to it.
Hopefully somebody watching the video will say, "Hey, I know what happened to that car," and
right.
They'll get a hold of us or get a hold of you on Facebook, and we might get an answer to that.
Yeah.
So she did drive her car. She enjoyed it, but she liked to be helping other people. What do you remember most about her and her the way she was like really altruistic, like
everything she did, she didn't just kind of do it halfway. She was 100% whenever she did it. So she was, she's ADRA, Drag Racing Association president. A big thing was she was Division 7 director of DRA, Drag Racing Association of Women. We just happened to be in Pomona one year, and it was right after Shirley Muldowney crashed, and they had the wives of all the big people were having a booth there to raise money for her, and she got involved, and then all of a sudden she was putting on booths in Arizona at Firebird. Then she became the director and did all kinds of things. So she was always doing things to help other people. So that's a lot of things. Or she put on car shows at the mall to raise money. She even did one for Jim Basco, and her and our friend built an engine in the mall to raise money to help Basco when he had an accident and got burnt. Then she was doing Team Firebird. That was a big thing that she took over that for years. And one of the other things I remember that was kind of a big deal to a lot of the racers was that there hadn't been any fuel altereds around for a long time, and she loved them. And so she asked Charlie Allen if she could put on a fuel altered race, and he's like, if you can get them here, we can do it. And somehow she contacted, I don't even know exactly how many, but that was in 1985, and put on a fuel altered race out at Firebird.
She was a hard person to say no to.
Right.
When she had in her mind she wanted to get something done.
Exactly.
I think that just thinking back of all the things she tried to do, I can't think of anybody telling her no. She was just like, she was a sweetheart. She really did a lot for other people. The ADRA, Arizona Drag Racing Association, I know she did a good job with that. She, and the draw thing is really important. she also helped a lot. Got people to races for the first time, that went back time after time, that became hooked on it. They became a part of the of your gang. I remember it always seemed like you guys with John Roberts and the animal cage. Almost said Animal House, like the movie. That would have been fitting for that group as well. But,
right.
The animal cage, but it always seemed like there's somebody else would come along, and eventually you'd see them with their own bracket car doing something. You remember any of the group of people that, John and the rest of the gang, or?
Well, there was a group that we always hung out with, was like Terry, Maggie Marshall, Dave and Pam Irvin, or back in the day, Jim Ray, David George. Just a lot of the. But she was supportive to anybody. She put it out there. Everybody. She even did a thing on Wallace and Ladmo, the whole show, that she wanted to support drag racing, not street racing. So she got on there on that show. I'm not sure how she did it, and brought the animal cage on there, and did a big thing to support drag racing, and just to tell people, like, don't do street racing, come out here. And so she did. She got a lot of people to come out, I think, because of that. We used to be in a car club, Central Arizona Street Machines, and that got a lot of people, too, to start being more involved in that racing, not just cars and car shows and stuff like that.
So she got a lot of people racing, including you.
Yeah.
So tell me about your first time down the drag strip.
Oh, gosh.
First of all, where were you born?
Here in Phoenix,
Okay.
Arizona.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Alhambra High School.
Okay. And when were how old were you when you first started going to races with your mom?
I think it was like 9 years old when we first went out to Beeline.
So it was in your blood early.
Yeah, so we were doing it all the time, and yeah, she was racing. I'd always, help her, things. But when I got old enough, possibly before I was 16, I started at the strip, which is kind of funny because, like, when you learn to drive, you're supposed to use like one foot, but because I learned on the strip more how to drive, where you have to have your brake and the gas at the same time. So that's kind of how I still always drive, with 2 feet.
That must have been fun getting your driver's license test when you come up the light and power brake.
Exactly. So yeah, and then I just started racing. Anybody's car that would let me, a lot of people would let me just drive their street cars that they drove out there, Marshalls, Pasadena, like everybody. And then I had my own, a 71 Chevelle.
And that color was brown, wasn't it?
It was brown.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it got ruined in a flood one time, so then we redid the whole thing. So then it had a new engine, interior, paint. It was gorgeous. It was a show car, and I raced it a little bit.
What happened to that car?
My ex-husband sold it. He got it. He ended up buying it from me. He got it, and he was supposed to let me know before he sold it so I could buy it back if I wanted to. And next thing I know, it was sold. And I've still been trying to look for it.
So there's another car Wendy.
Exactly.
So we take some pictures of these cars, and
I know,
we'll
put it out
BP
there.
Put them up on the video.
Exactly.
So help Wendy find her cars.
Right.
If anything else you've lost, you're looking for like a watch or a phone.
Exactly.
Okay.
Facebook will find it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're glad to help you out there. So you went along in the racing, and you've been around as long as I can remember. Out there at Phoenix Dragway and your family. But what do you love about racing? What's your passion?
You know what I love is just that it was a huge family. Still, I have you guys that I've known forever, and even though after my mom passed away, I still went a little bit, but it just wasn't the same without her, because it was always her and I doing everything. Like, we were partners in all of it.
Partners in crime.
Yeah, exactly. And I helped. She led, but I was right there helping in all directions. And plus, I worked at Firebird in the tower doing a few things. I either running the clocks or payouts or things like that. But it just wasn't the same without her. So I just haven't really been involved that much for a while. And then I started getting more involved again when Bill did, or when she got inducted her into the Hall of Fame. And then I loved that day so much because it brought back so many memories of her, and so many people from, that were in her life at the time. So many people came out to support her on that one, and I loved it so much, so that I've tried to be more involved with that at least. I still haven't gone to the races a whole lot. Again, I just feel almost like I don't fit in like I used to, but I do love it. I've gone out a few times with you, when Brian was racing, you're altered, and I do love it. It's just
Well,
things
the
change.
good news for everybody is that Wendy is involved, and she helps Bill Gusick a lot with the Arizona Drag Racing reunion. We're kind of tapping her on the shoulders as to be one of the next gen in that, because nobody is around forever, but we love that drag racing reunion to go on forever. So Wendy has graciously stepped up and done several things for us, been on task force and helps at the event. Done a lot of things that we really appreciate. So if you have any comments or suggestions about the reunion, you can also get a hold of Wendy. She is one of the key people in putting that on now, and we really appreciate your efforts there.
I love that I was invited to be part of it. Like, I love that I could help Bill in the beginning, but that I'm more involved now because I would like to see it keep going on, and I do love it.
Well, most people go to something when they have to create something on a story. Now they go to AI to do it. Bill goes to UWP because thank you for your efforts in writing the releases for the that you've done, and it's a lot of fun having Wendy be a part of it, and it's just a carry on to her mom. Her mom paid it forward. Wendy's paying it forward. The whole goal is to have these memories live on forever. And your mom was just a fantastic lady, full of energy. Left a big hole in all our hearts when she passed. What would you like people to remember her by?
Her passion for helping people. She just really was a very caring person, but also was an organized person, wanted to make sure everything was going the right way. I would say the big thing is just her passion. She was just such a great person, fun person, my very best friend in the whole wide world. We were super duper close. So I just want everybody to remember how much she loved racing and her passion for people.
Well, she lives on, in a lot of people's memories, and you're doing a great job being the mini me. You just we appreciate your help and all that. Any futures? Let's say you have a daughter, and she just graduated from college.
She just graduated with her bachelor's in psychology, but she's continuing right now, working on her master's.
Okay. Mm-hmm. She excited about that?
She is. It's a lot. It's challenging to work full time and go to school, and mostly online, but so it's kind of difficult without having a teacher per se, but she's doing it. She's doing great. She's great. Super great kid.
What school is she enrolled in?
Grand Canyon University. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my daughter got her master's and her undergrad and master's from there as well, my daughter Emily. So
oh yeah.
It's a great school. Wendy, we got lots of plans for you in the future. We really appreciate you being here to talk about your mom, to talk about you, catch us up what's going on. We need to find your mom's GTO.
Or find out what happened to it. Like, why did she quit racing it?
And your...
In my 71 Chevelle.
71 Chevelle. Uh-huh. And it was... These are the big mysteries of life for Wendy right now. So
right.
We'd like to know. The inside story is that I was at the dropping some parts off for our drag show last night, and at Brian Ashworth's house, and his wife Becky was on the phone with you, and you're all worried about this.
I was.
Has it been tough?
No.
No.
I was just concerned because I can't remember a lot of the details that I feel like I should. But I was a kid.
But have you remembered everything?
Enough that you asked about.
Okay, Wendy, thank you so much for being here and talking about your awesome mom. Bobby was, like I said, I can't say it enough. She was inspiration to many people. She got a lot of people at the races. She did so much for she paid way more than I know. She got a lot of it. Her spirit got a lot out of helping people. That's what made her feel good. But what she paid into it was awesome, and we just need more people like your mom and you around to help us move forward. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for letting her legend grow or continue. It means a lot to me.
Okay. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.